At the turn of the 20th century, the world stood on the precipice of a revolution not in industry, but in personal transportation. This was a time when horses were more common than automobiles, when the roar of a steam engine was the loudest sound in the city and the notion of human flight was a distant dream, confined to the pages of science fiction. Yet, there was a palpable sense of anticipation, a collective yearning to break free from the bonds of the earth and soar through the skies. In the midst of this transformative era, two ordinary men dared to dream the extraordinary. Orville and Wilbur Wright, two self-taught inventors and bicycle mechanics by trade, were captivated by the allure of flight. They were driven by the belief that if birds could master the skies, why couldn't humans? Little did anyone know these bicycle mechanics from Dayton, Ohio, were about to make history. The Wright brothers were not the first to experiment with flight, yet they were the first to succeed. Wilbur and Orville Wright, two brothers from Dayton, Ohio, were intrigued by the concept of flight. They spent countless hours studying the movements of birds, puzzling over how to replicate their balance and control. Their early attempts, like many innovators before them, were fraught with failure. Kites and gliders crashed, designs were scrapped, and the dream of flight seemed elusive. But the Wright brothers weren't easily discouraged. They delved into research, poring over the works of their predecessors, and even reaching out to the U.S. Weather Bureau to understand wind patterns. It was a meticulous process, one that combined scientific rigor with intuitive innovation. Amidst all this, they operated a bicycle shop, using the profits to fund their aeronautical pursuits. What set the Wright brothers apart was their invention of the three-axis control. This allowed a pilot to steer the aircraft effectively, maintaining equilibrium. It was a revolutionary concept, drastically different from other attempts at flight that focused primarily on power and speed. The Wright brothers understood that control was the key to sustained flight. After years of relentless testing and refining, their aircraft, the Flyer, was ready. The three-axis control system was in place, the engine was running smoothly, and the wings were designed for lift. The brothers had turned their dream into a tangible reality. With determination and ingenuity, the Wright brothers were ready to take their invention for its maiden voyage. On a cold morning of December 17, 1903, in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, aviation history was about to be made. The frosty bite of dawn was just beginning to fade as Orville and Wilbur Wright, two self-taught engineers from Ohio, unveiled their aircraft. A biplane they affectionately named the Flyer. A coin was tossed into the air, deciding who would be the first to attempt flight. Luck chose Orville. Strapped into the Flyer's cockpit, Orville felt a rush of adrenaline. His heart pounded in his chest like a drum, echoing the anticipation that hung heavily in the air. The Flyer's engine roared to life, its propellers slicing through the crisp morning air. With a jolt, the Flyer began to move. Gathering speed, it rumbled over the track laid out on the sandy beach. And then, with a leap that defied gravity, it lifted off. The first powered flight had begun. For a breathtaking 12 seconds, Orville was airborne. He covered a distance of 120 feet, flying low, just above the ground. The world beneath him blurred into a rush of sand and sea. When he finally landed, his heart was still racing, but his face was lit with an irrepressible smile. Wilbur ran to meet him, their shared joy echoing in their laughter. In a span of just 12 seconds and 120 feet, the Wright brothers had done the impossible. They had given wings to mankind,